guys, it's Isabel. It feels so good to be back filming. I was on a trip last week for my birthday, my 25th birthday. I went to Tokyo with my mom and my sister, and it was so much fun. It was my first time in Tokyo, and I finally was able to manifest my trip, which I'm so grateful. The vlog is coming soon for that trip, for those of you who have been asking, but I wanted to do this video because usually every year around my birthday, I do tend to make videos that are like 23 things I learned in 23 years, or 24 things I learned. I did one last year when I was in Colombia for my birthday, and I decided this year I was gonna switch it up and not do one of those. Those are super fun and I love them, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna answer 25 questions from you guys that I get asked all the time and clear some things up as well, and also maybe give you guys a little bit more insight on me and just my own journey. So I have these written down and we'll see how these go because some of them a little bit heavy, but we'll get there. Question number one, what does it feel like to grow so immensely? I've told you guys many times how I've grown just through the years and how I feel just a complete transformation now from where I've been in the past, and just in my early 20s, and being 25 has been a huge change, and I feel it. I feel it just in my mindset, I feel it in my goals and my priorities. So short answer is you just feel like your priorities are in line. You no longer have time for things or people that don't serve you and that only bring you down, and you focus on what's most important for you in your life. I feel like when you're younger, you're just so caught up on what everyone else is doing and pleasing other people, and then when you hit that stage where you stop caring about that, it's very liberating. It's a freedom that you didn't really have, and that is that freedom from others' opinions or from worrying what other people think of you. Question number two, did you attend college? Yes, I did. And do you feel that we need a degree to be successful? No, I don't. In my humble opinion, I feel like college for me was a huge waste of time and a huge waste of money. But that's just me. That's just my experience, just what I feel. I did learn a lot about myself going through college, and I did learn a lot just in general, and I don't necessarily regret going to college at all, but I don't think you need it to be successful at all. A lot of people have bachelor's degrees. The only way that it will be worthwhile is if you get a master's or a doctorate, or if you're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer, or in one of those fields or STEM field that does require a degree for you to get far in your field. However, if you are more of a creative person and you're thinking about going to college to get a steady job, I would say rethink that a little bit and actually think about what your strengths are. Don't necessarily force yourself to be something or to study something to impress others or for a job, because we live in a time where there is no job security. We live in a time where there are people who have to have multiple jobs. It's not like back in the 70s or 80s, you go to college, you get a career, and then you're there for your whole life and you have financial security. Nowadays, people have to be creative with their income. So the way I see it is that yes, you can be successful with a college degree, of course, but it is not the end all and be all of success. Question number three, what is your biggest lesson of 25? Probably my biggest lesson that I've learned probably in the past year is that it's not healthy to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. It doesn't make you selfish, it doesn't make you greedy, it doesn't make you narcissist, it just makes you smart. Question number four, what would you advise a 21-year-old girl? Well, if I was advising a 21-year-old, I'm thinking of myself back when I was 21, which seems such a long time ago because I was just such a different person then. I mean, I did kind of have some of my ideas and goals that I have now, but I was just completely, I would say, kind of lost. Very lost. And I would say keep going. Don't be discouraged. When you're 21, you're just getting started. You're so young, and you shouldn't get discouraged if your path is not where you want it to be, or it's not how you want it to be, or with who you want it to be. A lot of times we think, oh, we're 21, we're old. No, you're just getting started, and if you want something, go after it. Don't ever let anyone get in your way, because if you're 21 now and you start working on something, be it a new language you're learning or a career or a business or whatever it is, by the time you're 25, you're gonna be already in great shape. So if you want to start something, get started now. I would say that to all people in their 20s, early 20s, especially at 21. Be patient with yourself. Don't feel overwhelmed to figure out who you are and what you want right off the bat, because you will change in so many ways by the time you're 22. Question number 5 is a good one. Do spiritual people have to be happy and kind all the time? Kind, yes. Happy, no. I think you can be content all the time, you can be grateful all the time, but I think that as a human, it is part of being spiritual and human to feel all range of emotions and know how to deal with them. If you're happy all the time, that means that you're not necessarily allowing sadness or anger or all these other emotions that we need to feel as humans into your life. And as a spiritual person, I think that you should welcome all emotions and not force yourself to be happy. If you're naturally happy, great. But if you're feeling bad, don't force yourself to be happy or force yourself to feel good, because that means that you are blocking these feelings that you need to feel and you're not going through what you need to go through. Question number 6, can you recover your value and self-worth after someone mistreats you? Yes, of course. I have been mistreated in so many ways by different people throughout my life, and I always see it in this sense. When somebody treats you bad or is mean to you or is a certain way towards you, doesn't respect you, it's more of a reflection of them and what they're feeling and what they're going through as a person than it is about you as a person. Because you think about it, when somebody's happy and feeling good, they're not going to try to bring other people down. Hurt people hurt people. It's that simple. I have learned to not take people's actions against me or what people say about me personally. I take it as like, okay, well, is this constructive criticism? Okay, I'll take it. If not, I'm not gonna take it to heart. I'm not gonna let it affect me, because at the end of the day, everyone's going through something, everyone is dealing with something, everyone has their own opinions, and if we take each and every single opinion to heart, then we're never really gonna have our own healthy opinion of ourselves. So yes, your worth is not dependent on other people, it is dependent on you, on how you feel about you. Question number 7, do you feel that watching scary movies attracts negative, bad things in your life? So actually a funny story about this, I don't watch scary movies anymore because I am a scaredy cat and I get scared, especially if it has to do with demons. It's funny because my mom tells me don't watch, my mom is really Catholic, but she's like, don't watch these because it's a portal to demons coming into your house and all this stuff. And legit, I'm not kidding, about a couple years ago I watched American Horror Story Asylum, and if you guys have seen that, that is very graphic. It is a bunch of horrible things happening, but it's so good, but it's so graphic. I fell into a depression after I watched it. It was pretty bad. So after that, I don't watch it. I think for me personally, I think it does attract negativity into your life, definitely. Especially if there's a lot of killing and all these things that are very negative. They create an emotion in you and a feeling. That is what manifests into your life. So definitely, if you're trying to be a more positive person, stay away from the scary movies. Question number 8 is, how do I deal with failure? I feel that failure is as much a part, and I welcome failure into my life. I know that might sound kind of crazy to some people, but when I fail at something, and I've failed many times in my life, guys, I see it as just another step in a different direction onto my path, onto what's meant for me. Now everybody asks, how do I know what's meant for me? How do I know whether I should keep trying or give up? That's definitely up to you and the circumstance and how bad you want something. Like for me, if I fail at something and I really want it, I'm gonna keep trying and I'm gonna keep trying. And through that trying and through the efforts and the trials and the failures is how I learn. So I always look at failure as a learning experience. I don't take it to heart. I welcome it, and I realize that failure only makes my success story that much more inspiring to others. We're never gonna get through life, we're never gonna grow, never gonna be successful unless you fail at something. Question number 9, this is a good one. How different is your life now than what you expected it to be like when you were younger? Wow, my life is so different now than how I expected it to be when I was younger, in a lot of positive ways, because I expected myself at this age to be a lawyer or, you know, be in a career, and now I do what I love. Being a lawyer was not what was my passion. When I got to college, I realized I didn't really want to be a lawyer. All my life as a little girl, since I was like 10 up until college, I wanted to be a lawyer. That was always on my track, and now I'm so happy I didn't do it. But as a young girl, I did think I was going to be a lawyer, a politician at this age, and that kind of just fills me with anxiety to think that of being a politician right now. Question 10, how to harness your independence when you're newly single. I think being newly single is a very exciting time. What's most important when you're newly single is just to go out and enjoy life, to face your fears, get out of your comfort zone, go towards the things that you fear, because when you're in a relationship, you're in a routine and you're living your life pretty much for somebody else or with somebody else, and they become a huge chunk of your existence. So when you're newly single, start doing the things that you weren't able to do while you were in a relationship. Get to know yourself, travel, be with friends, have fun, enjoy your time. You know, singlehood is not a negative thing. Singlehood, I've told you guys, is such a good time because you get to know yourself, you get to grow in so many ways, you get to change, you really just take ownership of your life, push yourself out of your comfort zone, you push yourself to the limit and do the things that you've always wanted to do. Question 11, what do you say to yourself when your self-belief is dwindling or your self-doubt is taking over? I think self-doubt has a lot to do with expectations, and we expect ourselves to be at a certain level or to be doing something like this or to be doing this. And for me, expectations can either drive you to be better or they can hinder you in so many ways. So if you're dealing with self-doubt, I would say check your expectations. Are you actually doing as bad as you think you are? Or are you actually succeeding and doing pretty well? So when I'm doubting myself, I focus on the positives, on the things that I've accomplished, on the things that I have achieved, no matter how small they may be or insignificant they may be to other people. Like this plaque behind me, you know, to some people, like, it's not a big deal because there's people with a diamond play button or gold or whatever. But for me, I wanted this thing for so many years, and to finally have it and have it sitting behind me in my videos and just to look at it every day, it's like, you know what? 3 years ago, I didn't think this was possible. You know, 5 years ago, I didn't think this was possible, and it's here. Whenever I doubt myself, I remind myself I have done things that I have thought were impossible in the past, so that means I can do whatever I set my mind to. I can do so many more things that right now may seem kind of crazy or out there, but they're totally possible, guys. So always remind yourself of what you're capable of. Remind yourself of who you are and what you are worth. And that helps with pushing past the self-doubt. We all feel self-doubt at times, but it's because we forget who we are. So remind yourself who you are. Question 12, what was it like growing up Colombian and Guatemalan? So a lot of people ask me what my ethnicity is. I was born and raised in the United States, but my mom is from Guatemala, my dad is from Colombia. But they came here when they're really little, but my parents did a really good job of showing us their cultures. And Guatemalans and Colombians are very different. I know people are like, oh, all Latin people are the same. No, we're not. You know, it's very different. The cultures are vastly different. The people, the food, the dialects, the accents, we're all so different as Hispanics. And I identify more with my Colombian side because I travel a lot to Colombia. I mean, I travel to Guatemala too, but I travel a lot to Colombia, and I just, you know, the culture resonates with me more. But I love my Guatemalan side. I love the Guatemalan culture. I love the Mayan culture. Growing up as that was awesome because we traveled to Colombia all the time, Guatemala all the time. You know, the parties and the music, and both cultures are so wonderful. It's so much fun. At the same time, if you guys have seen the movie The Green Book, I totally resonated with the main character, Dr. what was his name? He had his culture, but he was never black enough and he was never white enough, you know? And that's how I've always felt. I grew up in predominantly white neighborhoods. I've always felt very Americanized. I've always felt very American. My parents always made me proud to be American, as well as being proud of having my Latin roots. But I was never deemed like, oh, when I go to Colombia, I'm the gringa, or when I'm here in the United States, I'm Latina. You know, I've always felt like I was neither there or here. I've always felt kind of in between. At the end of the day, I feel very grateful to have grown up in that culture and have this mix of cultures, and also very grateful to be American, because if I had grown up in a Latin country, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have all the opportunities that I've had, and I'm so grateful that my parents, you know, worked hard to give us a living here in the United States and came here so young and worked hard. Identifying with all these different cultures has been difficult because you're always kind of viewed as an outsider. I think now I have found a good, healthy balance of between my different cultures and my upbringing. And luckily we live in a society now that's more open to ambiguity, I guess you could say. Question 13, have you ever had any crucial events in your life that pushed you to change for the better? Yes. Every single bad moment and bad time in my life always pushed me to work for something better. Either if somebody hurt me or treat me bad, or my life just came crashing down, or I went through a depression, all of those things always catapulted me into something better because they pushed me. I'm fueled by positivity and by support, but I'm also very fueled by negativity and by difficulty. When my life goes south, I'm like, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to be better? How do I avoid this from happening again? I think that going to college, I talked bad about college earlier, but I'm glad I went to college, and I had a pretty tough college experience overall, both financially and just in my personal life, and so many things with my mental health. I developed anxiety in college, and I developed depression in college, and I was drinking all the time and partying and not being responsible, and because of that, of me just being not a responsible or healthy person, it pushed me to start working on my fitness again, to work on my mindset. I learned about the law of attraction going through all these difficult things, and I'm so grateful that I went through these difficult things because I would not have been who I am now. Question 14, do you believe in aliens? Yeah, I think it would be completely ignorant to think that we're all alone in this vast universe, and especially since we have had so much research into other planets and seen that other planets and other moons, especially Europa, that moon is basically ice with water underneath, and we all know water equals life. So personally, I believe in aliens. I believe there are aliens, not necessarily like green aliens, but there are definitely other beings in the universe. Question 15. There are many people preaching spirituality or teaching nowadays. Is it good to follow everyone or just one? Yeah, I do notice that there is spirituality is like the cool thing, and like crystals and all this stuff. And you have to pay attention to the person you're listening to. Are they just doing it because it's aesthetically pleasing and it just makes you look cool or whatever because it's a trend? Or is it because this is a person who is genuinely teaching you something that will help you in your life, not just frivolous things, and certainly not just taking money from you? I think it's very important to find somebody that resonates with you and has maybe gone through similar things that you've gone through, or they just have a vibe that you vibe with. I don't think you have to follow everyone. I certainly don't follow all these spiritual people. I only follow a few people who have resonated with me. I think it's just about finding what fits for you, and don't feel overwhelmed to follow every single spiritual guru there is out there. Question 16, how do you keep from feeling insecure? I just remind myself of who I am and what I've been through. I don't hang on to bad feelings. I don't hang on to insecurities. I mean, we all have things that we don't really like about ourselves, but I don't stay hung up on those things. I don't stay hung up if one day my belly is fat or I'm bloated or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna stay stuck on that because it's just like, who cares, you know? There's just some things that you have to look at and be like, in the grand scheme of things, this really does not matter and it's not worth my time. And that comes from emotional intelligence. You have to be able to switch that in your brain, be like, this is frivolous. I think it's all about just owning who you are and not necessarily seeing your flaws or insecurities as bad things, but just a part of you. Question 17,
Hi, it's me. So I totally skipped question 17, and my answer to this question, which is what do you think heaven and hell is? I believe that the afterlife is just another level of consciousness, another dimension that we go into, and it's according to our own individual thoughts and how our mind was rewired. So I do believe that people do tend to get some kind of judgment in the afterlife, but not necessarily in the way it would be depicted in the Bible or any other religious text. I just believe that death is simply a transformation, and a transformation of our energy from one source to another.
Question 18, why don't you open up more to viewers? I love your videos, but always feel like you hold back. That's funny because I feel like I do tend to talk a lot about my life and my own experiences in my own videos and my podcast. I tell you guys a lot about my life. I go by this saying, and I think everyone should go by this, whether you're on social media or not. Life is better when no one knows your business. And I go by that, I swear by that, and that has allowed me to simplify my life. That's not to say I'm not an open book. If you and I were to bump into each other and be like, hey, let's go have a coffee, I would probably lay out my entire life story to you because I connect with you on a physical level and a person-to-person level, and I will connect with you and open up. But here on the internet, we are being watched by not just our fans and our friends and people who love us, but also people who wish badly on us or don't like us or don't like what we're saying or just hate us for no reason. And by opening up your personal life to not only the good people but also the bad people and opening up all these things about your life, you're allowing that energy into your life, and people are going to be giving you opinions, swaying you about your own life. And I see this happening to other influencers, is that you guys might think that I'm really guarded and closed off, but actually people overshare on the internet. YouTubers overshare on the internet. People are putting so much out there on the internet. They're getting stalkers, they're getting all these things coming into, a lot of negativity coming into their life because they're not keeping their private life private. So now all these people are discussing your relationships, your finances, all these things, and that's why we have so many YouTubers breaking down, having mental breakdowns, YouTubers quitting because they can't handle the pressure, because they opened up so much of their life and now everyone has an opinion on it. Do you guys think that's healthy? I personally don't think it's healthy, and knowing myself, I think I share a good amount of my life where I can relate to you guys can relate to me, and I can help you out. I tend to share things once I've gone through them. I'm not gonna come onto YouTube and make a clickbait video about how my life is breaking down for the views, because that's not how I work, that's not who I am, and that is not how I'm ever going to be. But once I go through something and I learn from it and I grow from it and I learn a lesson from it and I feel that you guys could relate and maybe learn something from it as well, I will share my wisdom or whatever experiences I went through. I'll share it after the fact, because then it will be beneficial to you. It won't just be entertainment, because guys, my personal life is nobody's entertainment. Also, I want to keep YouTube fun. I don't want to come on YouTube and be dreading what people are saying about what I opened up about. No, I want YouTube to be fun, so I separate it from my personal life. Most of my content is just to help others. It's not really about me. I hope that answers your question. I hope it didn't come off as rude or anything. I don't mean to be rude by saying I'm gonna keep my private life private, but hey, if you are down and you're like, Isabel, I'd love to discuss life with you, and you wanna meet up, and we have coffee together and we talk, I would be more than happy to talk, because I like to help my friends out. But in all honesty, if you guys want more of personal stuff, check out my podcast, because I do go in depth more on just the way I'm feeling and things like that. These videos I want to use to empower others, to inspire others, to make others feel happy and positive, and I'm gonna keep it that way. It's my platform, and I feel like it's been doing pretty good thus far. Question 19, do you ever feel stuck in life? I did feel pretty stuck in life just a few months ago. I felt like I was just not on the right track. I felt very hindered, and I think that's part of being in life, is going through these ruts and figuring out what's not working for you, how you need to change up your life, how you need to change up your routines in order for you to be propelled to move to greater heights. So yes, I do feel stuck, but I don't stay in that rut for too long. I always try to push myself out of it. Question 20, why don't you talk a lot about Christianity on your channel? I think the short answer to this is because I respect that not all of my viewers are Christian. I respect that a lot of my viewers have so many different religious, spiritual beliefs, and a lot of my viewers are not religious, are not spiritual. They're just here for the positivity or the motivation or whatever they're here for. I just want my channel to be inclusive to everyone. And also, I'm not a huge expert on Christianity. I was born and raised Christian Catholic. I do believe in Christ. I do follow Christ's teachings, but I do feel like I do have very Christian values. I do believe in love. I believe in acceptance. I believe in forgiveness, but I'm not an expert on Christianity. If I were to make videos on Christianity, people would probably call me a hypocrite, because I don't live by everything the Bible teaches. I don't eat animals. I don't believe animals are here for us to eat them. And in the Bible, it says things like that. The Bible does have a lot of things that I don't agree with. So that's why I can't sit here and preach about Christianity, because honestly, I'd probably be deemed a hypocrite, you know, because I'm not solely Christian. My spirituality embodies so many things, and I try to learn from all different cultures and religions and spiritualities. I do follow a lot of what Buddha teaches and what Buddhism teaches, and Christians won't like that. So I can't necessarily come on here and in good faith talk about that. I'd much rather talk about the law of attraction and things that anyone can attribute to their life and not feel like you have to be this way or have to identify with this religion or this spirituality to practice it. 21. What's your secret to gaining motivation fast and getting your mojo back? Again, remind yourself of who you are. Know who you are. Always go back to your goals. What is your why? Why were you doing this in the first place? Why were you working towards this in the first place? Why did you want this in the first place? And if it no longer resonates with you, maybe it's because you need to change things up. I think that we're scared to kind of veer off track and start something new because most humans are afraid of change. But honestly, change and traveling, it's a huge motivator of mine, but making change, going after what scares you, what you fear, is a great way to get motivation back. Also allow others to motivate you. If there's somebody who you admire, go to people who maybe are on the path that you wish you were on or who are living their dream lives and look at what they're doing. Allow that to motivate you. What really motivates me is the distance between where I am now and where I want to be. That is what motivates me. I never have envisioned like a normal life for myself. I always knew that my life would be different and change in so many ways, and I welcome that. And I think that is probably my biggest motivation, is always changing and growing and getting better. Question 22, do you speak Spanish? Claro que sí. Mi primer idioma era español y ahora obvio yo vivo en los Estados Unidos, pero yo trato de viajar mucho a Latinoamérica, a Colombia, a Cuba, donde sea, para practicar mi español. Hablo mucho español con mi familia, con mi mamá, hablamos casi prácticamente todo español. Con mi papá hablo más inglés, porque cuando yo era pequeña mi mamá solo me hablaba en español y mi papá solo en inglés, para que yo tuviera los dos idiomas. Pero yo sé que mi acento no es de lo mejor, yo sé que no hablo como alguien de Latinoamérica, pero yo trato. Pero claro que sí hablo español. Yo siempre he luchado en tener buen español, en hablar lo mejor que puedo, y mis hijos también van a hablar español, si tengo hijos algún día. Question 23. How do you deal with negative thoughts and emotions? I deal with them. I let them come into my life. I let myself feel whatever I have to feel. I let myself go through the negative stuff, because part of being human is feeling negative emotions. Part of being human is going through tough times. And I think it's beautiful to feel these different emotions. What ultimately drove us apart was the distance and the fact that, you know, he lives in Cuba and traveling to Cuba wasn't always easy for me, and he couldn't travel to me in the States. He could travel to other countries but not come to me, and it was just hard, a time problem as well, as I want to focus so much on my career, my projects and my goals, and also having him, I wasn't able to give him all the time and all the attention that he needed and that he wanted, and it was just getting really serious very fast. And we were together for like a year, probably a little over a year, and we tried so hard. I think that that's probably what hurts me now, even though I feel like a huge weight lifted off of me and I feel free now because I'm not hurting him and I'm not being hurt as well. But I was putting myself on the back burner a lot. I was putting my needs and my problems in the back burner for him. Even though it's fairly new and fairly recent and it's been hard for him too, I think that it was for the best and the timing just wasn't right. It wasn't working out. And I have had these lingering thoughts and feelings for a while. And a lot of my anxiety last year was because of this relationship, because you know, I couldn't be there 100% for him and he couldn't be there for me in the ways that I needed him. I met him when I was 23 and I was in a completely different stage in my life, and I I might make a video on this later on when I have more clarity and I feel more comfortable talking about it, but I do feel like I should tell you guys. You guys know I'm private and I'm not gonna be like, oh guys, I'm single. First of all, because I don't want men coming and bothering me. And second of all, because I don't feel like I'm defined by whether I'm in a relationship or not. He taught me so much about myself, and this relationship taught me so much about myself, and I'm grateful for him, and I'm grateful to have experienced everything with him.
I'm listening.
Shh.
Spy is a 2015 American action comedy spy film written.
Hey Siri, be quiet.
Do you want me to keep reading?
No, Siri, be quiet. Why is she listening? Oh my God. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that, because out of respect for him, I didn't want to come out right and be like, I'm single, because he was still kind of dealing with not accepting that it was over, and he was still trying to make it work. I gave it my all. I tried my best for months and months, and I think that for right now what works for us is just to go our separate ways. We can both focus on ourselves and not feel like we are being restricted by each other in a relationship. But I am ready to start a new chapter in my life. I'm ready to move forward, and that's what I've been doing, you know, this past month so far. Since February, I've been pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone, to do new things, and to live my life again, and to set goals for the future, and to focus on me and do me and be happy with myself. And I do feel a huge sense of excitement for the future and a huge joy, because I know that all the pain that I've been through that has served me for something, and it is adding up for something better in the future, and there is something amazing waiting for me and for him in the future. And out of respect for him, I didn't want to come out and talk about this, because he's a good person, and mostly out of respect for other people in my life, I don't talk about personal things. So I hope you guys understand why I've been quiet about it, and you understand why I'm just now talking about it now. But there definitely is life after a breakup. Either if you broke up with somebody, you decided to end a relationship, or a person ended a relationship with you, there is life afterwards for you. And even though it's hard, and the prospect of losing somebody that you care so much about is hard in the moment, and it does scare you, know that there is so much waiting for you afterwards. And just work on yourself and focus on yourself. And if you're single or in a relationship, or you're going through problems and you're not happy, always question things. Always question whether it's right for you, because you shouldn't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I don't think that that's how relationships should be, in my opinion. Whew, what a heavy question, you guys. But it's good. I feel better now that I let it out, and it's out there now. So we're there. I'm single. I'm doing good. Doing more than good, actually. Better than I was doing a month ago, I'll tell you that. We're hanging in there. Question 25. Okay, this is from my girl Jess Gutierrez. This is for you. She actually asked me this question, and I loved it. I thought this was a great question, a good note to end this video on. And question 25 is, what would be the title of this chapter of your life? Momentum. It would be chapter 1, momentum. I feel like I'm in the beginning phases of something great and something exciting, and I feel a lot of momentum behind me in everything I'm doing. Or maybe fearless. Could be another one too. Alright guys, so thank you so much for sitting through this Q&A with me. I hope that you liked it. I hope maybe you got something out of it, but this is just my little birthday treat to you guys, and a little homage to myself for turning 25 and being on this earth for so long. Hopefully I have another 25 on this wonderful earth, and hopefully you guys will be along with me and continue on with me on my journey, and hopefully I can be along with you on your journey as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so very much. If you guys want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are always down below. Also follow Taking Back Your Power on Instagram as well. That is my podcast. I love you guys so very much. Always remember that no matter who you may be in this life, no matter what you may be going through, no matter what you look like, no matter how old you are, your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me, and I will see you in my next video. I love you. Bye-bye.